Hey, everybody, this is Jonathan Ogden, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
Hey, Bruin fans, this is David Singleton, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show. Go Bruins.
Hey, this is Wayne Cook, and you're listening to What's Bruin Show.
Hey, guys, it's Chris Johnson, UCLA national champion. I need y'all to listen to the What's Bruin Show. These dudes are off the hook.
This is Maurice Jones-Drew, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
You're listening to the What's Bruin Show, part of the What's Bruin Show network, with your hosts, Jake Berryfield and Mike Regalado, and occasionally some friends, talking all things UCLA sports. And now, it's time for the What's Bruin Show.
Hello and welcome to What's Bruin. I am your host, Jake Berryfield, and I'm joined by my good buddy, Mike Regalado from Bruin 24/7 Sports. Mikey, how are you doing tonight?
What's up, Jake? How you doing?
I'm good.
I haven't been here in a while.
He's finally in the studio. It's good to see him. Yeah. Are you going to be here next?
Yes, I will be here.
Okay, because I didn't want to have you and Jamaal on the phone, so thank you for that.
Yeah, we're going to have started
Jamaal
the
on
season,
next
baby.
week.
We're back in full swing.
That's right. Okay, so good. Mike will be here 2 weeks in a row, and we will talk about, our season predictions next week for the Big Ten, right? Mike likes to bring his helmet schedules.
Oh,
That'll be fun. It's the What's Bruin Show on the What's Bruin Show Network. Thank you for your support. Email what'sbruinshow@gmail.com, patreon.com/what'sbruinshow, or also the Substack, and that's out there too. what'sbruin.substack.com. Thank you for just a couple bucks a month. You can send the What's Bruin Show into the future if you subscribe.
$2.
And that's fun. And you can also call the hotline, 805-399-4WBS.
Suck it, Raina Troy.
Suck it, Raina Troy. I don't know if we're going to end up talking to Raina Troy before the season starts because, quite frankly, they moved away. And they're rather busy as well. And their season starts 1 week before ours. And there's just a lot of moving parts. So I don't know if we're going to get the Penguin and the MC on our waves or vice versa. And so that's kind of a bummer, but, we'll catch up with them at some point, I'm sure. Now, with that being said, Mikey, you're here right now.
Yeah.
You told me you have some headline you want to get to, so I guess let's do the Bruin 24/7
headlines.
What's it about?
It's a good one, Jake.
What
it's
is
a
it
good
about?
one.
What's it
Basketball.
Get to the chopper!
It's football season. I don't want to talk about basketball.
Jake,
Get to the chopper!
you're gonna love this one.
Sure.
UCLA women's basketball has released its home non-conference schedule. 7 games starting on November 2nd against Lehigh with Field Trip Day, in which that's always a weekday midday game, usually for local youth groups and schools. Each of the 7 non-conference home games has a theme. The most important one being on November 15th against Princeton. That is when the UCLA women's basketball team will raise the banner and have their national championship ring ceremony, baby. So if you go to any game, any UCLA women's basketball game next year, make sure it is November 15th. Bring tissue. There probably won't be a dry eye in the house. I know I'm probably gonna cry. But yeah, so that is part of the 7 game non-conference schedule for the upcoming season. Jake, you going? Damn right you're going. I'll be there. So yeah, they also have a few other nights like this one's funny. Leather Pants Night in honor of Corey Close.
Now we're talking. That sounds like fun.
Did you know that she's not superstitious, but she was told she has to wear leather pants at every game? What was the only game she did not wear leather pants to?
Let me guess, they lost one.
Huh?
A game they lost?
The only game they lost, the one against Texas.
Well, I guess that's set in stone now.
Exactly. So that's one of the promotions. But anyway, big night, November 15th. They raised the banner.
I don't know what it is, Mike, but like as soon as William Henry Shirley quit the show, you immediately started to grab the microphone and rattle it.
Oh, did I do it again? My bad.
You've been doing it for 5 minutes, and it's like, we got rid of the other guy. The other guy quit.
Yeah,
and the most annoying thing he ever
did,
other than falling asleep at the mic, other than farting at the table, other than burps,
good job,
was rattling the goddamn mic. And now Mike is rattling the mic.
My bad.
Don't touch the mic.
My bad.
I have a stand there for a reason.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's
I love
true.
you, Mike. I do.
Love you
I
too.
do. Okay. Good. What are we talking about this for? Wayne Cook's on the goddamn show. We have an hour with Wayne Cook.
Yes.
There's nothing else to talk about.
raising a banner, and that was it.
Well, I
Done.
mean, you talked about it already.
I'm done with the headlines.
All right,
That's what I was going to say. You're done with the headlines.
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm so combative, but I want to get to this wonderful interview we do with Wayne Cook. So.
Oh, yeah. Great every year.
Blue 32, California, hood, hey! Football.
I am going to say this for the first 3 or 4 minutes, because we did this over the phone. We call Wayne, and then he talks to us on the phone.
Yeah, for
And
about an
he's
hour.
Always great.
Yeah.
For an hour we did today. But the first 4 or 5 minutes, the connection, I was having a little issue, and there was a little bit of clicking. The clicking will go away after about 4 or 5 minutes.
You heard clicking?
I apologize.
I heard,
we had a little click. There's a little click. I don't like the click.
On my end, I heard just it dropped.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
A little dropping.
Okay.
We don't want that anymore. You know,
No.
we pride ourselves on sounding pretty good, at least better than our dumb competitors all the time. And
That was how this was formed. I was like, we need to make a podcast that sounds good.
better.
and doesn't have clinking
Yeah, whatever.
utensils in the background.
Whatever. you know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
exactly.
I apologize for the little click. It's there for about 4 minutes and then it drops off, and then we have like 55 minutes of clickless Wayne Cook. And so it's wonderful. So without further ado, let's get to that wonderful interview with our
Get to the chopper!
oh, no, not that. With our guy Wayne Cook. We're gonna get to the chopper.
Yeah,
and
get
play
to the
it.
chopper, Jake. Play Wayne Cook. Thank you.
Join us on the What's Bruin hotline. It is our longtime BFF. We love him so much. It's Wayne Cook, the sideline reporter for your UCLA Bruins. He is back to school teaching the young minds of America. He's on, I don't know, I got to ask him how many different shows he's on currently right now, but one of them is it's the Bruin Insider Show, right, Wayne? Bruin Insider Show? Did I get that right?
Yes, Bruin Insider Show, and hopefully, Nick Cope and myself get that. You guys are going to be mad. You guys are going to be mad about what I'm about to tell you, though, because my now College Sports Now, the one that you guys have been pretty funny followers of for many, many years by telling Steve to suck it and other funny things that cracked me up over the years. It came to an end. That show is no longer. Yeah, well, they got bought. Learfield did, and once that happened, they just decided they could spend that money. It's such a bummer because that show has produced so many good people.
So many
that have gone on to work at ESPN. I mean, we remember when Larback was on at one point in time. She's everywhere now. It's just so many good people that work for different. Roddy Jones just recently on that on ESPN right now, and because I love the Bruins so much and I love the school teach, I'm the one that hasn't moved on. I'm the original. I started it and I ended it, so they never got rid of me. So it's a bummer, but you know what? More time for UCLA football now. So about that.
No, that's great. And I really enjoyed listening to that show, and I really enjoyed Hartzell and his crew over there. So I hope that he's landing on his feet. I hope he's doing well. But
he's doing great. That guy's he's still crushing it over there. So I appreciate that. I know we make fun, and he enjoyed that part too. But he's doing great. They're just moving in a different direction.
No, that's fantastic. Okay, well, it's good to hear, Wayne, that you're 100% Bruins at this point, and we will take that. So as we're getting, I just have just like a 1,000-foot question for you, just about your experience as the UCLA sideline reporter for a long time now. As you go through the football season, do you latch on to a particular guy or a couple guys, or do you just kind of talk to whoever comes to you that particular game day? What do you find yourself gravitating towards?
It's a great question. I do. I was out at practice on Saturday. I go into 4 or 5 spring practices, and there are personalities that I'm drawn to because I'm drawn to them, but they're drawn to me. And you get to know and build relationships. And to be honest with you, if one of those guys had a good game and another guy I don't know as well had a good game, I'm probably going to stay in the direction that a guy that I know well because I think the interview will be better.
Yeah.
But I try really hard, and I know we all do in this business. When you build relationships with people, it makes the interviewing so much easier. You build trust. They get to where they'll give you that honest answer, and they're not as defensive. So it takes a lot. I mean, you guys were talking about it. Whenever you can, you try to get out to practice. You try to be around the team, and I know it's limited how much you guys get to watch. I'm lucky to be in that situation where I get to be around these players, but with the turnover that we have now every year, it's a lot harder to build those relationships because
Yeah, no kidding.
so many new players are coming in. It makes it really difficult.
No, I'll bet. I was wondering that as well too. That we're going to ask you in a little bit, like what you think of this team, even though we have no idea who's actually on the team because it's turned over, 2 years in a row. But that is crazy. So just to stay on that same topic, just real quick, looking back at your years at UCLA, the more recent eras, who off of like the Jim Mora teams or who off of the Chip Kelly teams did you kind of just hit it off with and really like to interview or talk to on those teams? If you have anybody that were better than others.
I'll go all the way back to one of my all-time favorites. I don't know why his name just popped into my brain. I used to love to interview again. Why am I forgetting his Matt Slater, the kick returner?
Yeah, he was so awesome.
I absolutely I couldn't get enough of telling everybody that he was the best, and I still stand by this. He was the best special teams player in the country.
Right. Oh man,
there was nobody quite like him. I thought he was so good, and I almost feel like he was underutilized at UCLA. And then he went on and had this amazing
huge career.
He made me feel smart because I pumped him up so much, and he had such a great. He can't go. I mean, really, if they did a special teams best players in history, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, there's no
he's
doubt.
A Hall of Fame special teams guy. He's that good. So like, he's one of them. But I mean, I've had so many over the years. You guys, I don't want to get too carried away with specific names, but there's, because like a million of them are popping into my head right now. There's just certain guys, they're really good players, they're really good people. Well, I'll throw another one, and I'm going to go way back for this one. Maurice Jones-Drew.
One of our favorites.
I still love talking to him. I mean, he does such a great job on TV. We've got his kid at our school now, and he's just, when I run into him, he's just the nicest guy in the world. And he doesn't have to be, because he's Maurice Jones-Drew. He's one of the best players UCLA's ever had, and he had a great NFL career. Eric Kendricks is another guy that I've seen a little bit more of lately. I always loved him. I loved him as a football player, but he's a great guy too. There's a Bruce Davis was a guy that was a fun interview.
Oh, he was great.
Tons of energy. Like I mean, you see what I'm doing? They're going to keep popping into my head. Yeah. I mean, Hudson Havermill was one of my favorite people in the world. I didn't care if he played football. That guy was just one of the nicest, sincere people everywhere. He was just a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
Like, we've had so many good ones, and I'm really, really lucky. Like right now, I walked down into the locker room to try and get some gear, because I'm a bad person, and I always want to walk out of there with gear. So I looked at it on the sidelines.
You deserve it.
And I ran into Madden Iamaleava, and I said, man, tell your brother to do this, like whatever. I was just kind of teasing. He goes, let me go get him. He goes, let me go get him for you.
Wow.
I go, dude, you don't have to get him for him. So he ran into the locker room, grabbed his brother. We had a great conversation, and it was just silly. I mean, it was just like, but those guys are good guys. And so I remember that. I mean, and he didn't have to walk over and talk to me or even listen to what I had to say.
Right.
But they're just good people, and that makes it a lot of fun.
No, that's awesome. And I go back to the list the short list you had. I'm sure there's 100 of them. Yeah, Maurice Jones-Drew was one of the first interviews we ever did, and that guy was I almost named my son Maurice because of Maurice Jones-Drew, because I saw him up in Washington that one game where he scored like 6 touchdowns. And then we had Bruce Davis on, and he was wonderful talking about him and his father and stuff. So those are some great Bruins.
You just meant
it's easy.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You just mentioned
there's just a little delay. So you guys, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
No worries. You just mentioned Eric Kendricks. I don't know who's listening that is on the Instagram, but if you have a chance, follow Eric Kendricks, because he doesn't necessarily talk about football, but he is hilarious. Like he's he'll talk about random stuff, and I'm like, what is going on here? This is amazing.
I have to actually interrupt you, Wayne, because I'm going to send you a link later. But him and Barr did a podcast where they interviewed. Have you listened to that yet?
With Lake, right?
Yeah, with Quentin Lake. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I saw it. It was incredible, and to get those guys to be unfiltered.
Yes.
And even if they said some things about, I know they talked about the money for grades and some of the stuff the topics that were a part of that. And of course, people lose their minds because they like to get mad or happy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the idea that you have, two really good in Barr and Kendricks. And I know Kendricks. I don't know if he's still going to play this year for the 49ers, but he can if he wants to, because when he played last year, he looked great.
Yeah.
I know Anthony Barr's done, but Lake is loved by the Rams. They love the guy. They freaking made him a captain, and he's a guy that's just such a great player. So to get 3 great Bruins to talk about UCLA football, and I don't care if it's positive or negative stuff, it's still and the negative stuff isn't necessarily intended to be negative, by the way.
No.
I think a lot of times when I talk about stuff or when they talk about stuff, it comes down to the fact, because I saw both of those guys at a recruiting event this year at the Rose Bowl, where myself and Matt Stevens and Cade McNown, the last 3 Rose Bowl participating quarterbacks, and then people like Kendricks and Barr were all there along with 3 or 4 other former players. And we had a really great recruiting moment where we talked to some of these recruits and got up in front of them and kind of shared some of our experiences. And it wasn't just about football, it was about life outside of football and what UCLA kind of offers in that area. And so when you have Kendricks and Barr, who are obviously, they can talk about anything. You just mentioned Eric Kendricks. We had conversations before that event even started just about all kinds of crazy stuff, whether it was the past when he played and I covered him, the stuff that has nothing to do with football, and he's an engaging, awesome person. And that's why I think those players are so good at what they do, because they're more than just football players. They're complete people.
No doubt at all. Yeah, and that podcast, like all the stuff about Keller there was in the first 5 minutes, but it's like an hour, and it's just wonderful. Listening to 3 Bruins talk about their experiences. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Wayne, Bob Chesney, he's here. Now that he's been through spring, pretty much halfway through fall camp, what are your thoughts about Chesney, the start of the Bob Chesney era at UCLA?
Well, I think we're all going to agree on this. I mean, this is probably, whenever you get a new coach, you get that kind of excitement. There's always going to be the naysayers. There's always going to be the people that make their lists, and then if you don't, they're going to be mad. But this one just felt like there wasn't any of that. It really did. I mean, it just felt like everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's a good hire. Like, and then when they started listening to him talk from the press conference on, it was like, yeah, this is a really good hire. And then as we go through the offseason, we start seeing him out at every high school in Southern California, Northern, he's all over the place recruiting. We start actually, getting commits from a ton of 4-star guys. You just start paying attention to the stuff he's done with the media, that more and more people are involved in UCLA football. And then you start hearing some of the national people saying, listen, like, I don't know how long it's going to take with UCLA. I know Joel Klatt, I was listening to his podcast on my way to, and whether or not you like him or not, I was listening. He at least, isn't just SEC and just isn't certain schools.
No doubt.
He talks about a lot of things, and he had UCLA and Oklahoma State fighting for the top 25, like to be that number 25 spot. And he said the reason why he went with Oklahoma State, and this is the dumbest thing that happens in college football, is because they have a much easier schedule.
Oh,
you guys have heard me for years complain about this. I've been joking around a lot because AI lets you research things that you never could research before.
it makes it so much easier.
I didn't even realize, you guys, that when I in 1993 on my championship team, we played the 3rd toughest schedule in the entire country.
Wow.
We played seven ranked teams, and we played 3 top 10 teams. We lost to one of those by 1, and we lost to the other one in the Rose Bowl by 5, and had 6 turnovers. And we beat Arizona. We beat them good, and they ended up winning the Fiesta Bowl. So, like, people look at the record and like, well, you weren't as good as some other teams. I'm like, I challenge you, because I did this, by the way, to find a team that played a tougher schedule that won a championship at UCLA. And I don't think you will. I think ours is the toughest one.
Wow.
Because that was just a crazy year. And I bring that up because, when you look at, whenever they talk about rankings, people will say, well, I have them here because of their schedule. It just seems so stupid to me.
Yeah.
I have them here. It's almost like, well, where would you put them if everybody played the same schedule? Oh, they would be at 5. But because their schedule's so hard, I have them at 12.
No,
It hurts my head. And I know that there's not a whole, you have to do it that way. I get it. But UCLA, it's weird. And I don't know if you guys thought this. We've had so many years where we're like top 10 schedule that this year, seem like, well, it's a little bit easier, but San Diego State's not going to be easy.
No.
Cal's going to be a dogfight. It's one of the best games of the first week. And then think about it, guys. We go from Minnesota through the SC game with just nothing but dogfights. Those are all really, really tough games. So it's easier, but it's still really freaking hard.
No, it is easier. It's still freaking hard, but it's like, the whole schedule thing. Like, also, though, what can you do now that you're in a conference with like 72 teams in it? It's like there's no way to have the same schedule for anybody because there's too many teams.
Well, one thing that here's a one word that a lot of people are saying for UCLA. It's a favorable schedule for Bob Chesney's first year. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's easier than last year, but I mean, still, like you said, it's still tough. A lot of these things are going to be coin flippers, so we'll see.
All right. Well, there are so many new faces, just like that last year. We just alluded to it a little while ago. Is there anything from last year's team that carries over into this season? We have a few guys that are returning, but how much more different is this going to be for those that
it's going to be
know?
very different.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and throw out a few names. I think Eugene Brooks is going to matter. Right. I think on the offensive line, I think he's got all kinds of promise, all kinds of hope, size, athleticism. So I think he's a guy that we should pay attention to. I think you're still going to see you're still going to see why am I forgetting his name right now? Just saw him yesterday. The other lineman from last year that played a lot.
Sam
Yoon?
No, it wasn't. You right now. I don't know what's. Yes, Armella. Yeah. That's the one I'm thinking of. I think he's going to be in the mix. I think Sam is too. Like, but it might be the transfer from JMU playing with the ones right now. But I think he's important. Jalen Woods is going to be a big part of the team this year at linebacker on the other side of the ball. That's a guy that's coming back. I think Cole is he was at media day, right? So Cole Martin. Roderick Pleasant, we just want a healthy Roderick to be out there using that speed and athleticism. He has a chance to be special. So, I mean, that's just a few off the top of my head, but there's way more new guys.
So many.
Right? There's obviously, I mean, we didn't say Nico. Nico's a huge. I mean, I can't give enough huges here to say how important he is. And I'll tell you this because I know you're going to ask me about him later, but I did notice that guy's been working on his footwork.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's really important. And I think the coaches, and I mean, we've got like 17 quarterback coaches at this point, but they all know, I'm joking a little bit, but it's like three, right? Where it's we have an actual quarterback coach, then we have the offensive coordinator that's always with the quarterbacks, and now we have Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
And all of this is good because anybody that's been around the quarterback position for a long time, it's any good at what they do, they're going to tell you that your footwork matters a ton. I mean, talent and arm strength and all that stuff is obviously really important, but it matters. So he's done a lot, and I'm real excited to see what he can do in this offense. But for the most part, I mean, there's a lot of guys, that are coming in from other places. I think Teo Johnson has a chance to have a great year. And we've watched him at Utah for a long time now. He's got a ton of starts. He's a really good player. He's a downhill type safety, and he'll come up and hit you.
That's good.
Smart. I really, really like him. Sammy Omasigo from Oklahoma. This guy's going to be right there next to Jalen. And by the way, I didn't even mention Scott Taylor, who I love. I absolutely fell in love with him last year watching practice and watching him play, and he's going to be in the mix with those other two linebackers too, getting a ton of playing time. But Sammy's a big deal. He's an athletic, big, strong. We have those three guys, Woods, Omasigo, and Scott Taylor are like absolutely legit Big Ten linebackers. And they can absolutely play. So I mentioned two more there with Taylor and Woods that I think are big returners too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've been to 3 practices so far, and I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, who is that guy? There's just so much turnover. It's just, it's fun to see, but it's also frustrating because you're like, okay, who's this guy? Who's that big guy that just made a tackle? Oh, that's Sahir. Who's this little guy that just ran 80 miles an hour down the sideline? Oh, that's Wayne Knight. I think fans are going to be really excited to see these new guys, but like last year, it's going to take a little bit of time for everybody to know who these Bruins are.
And it's the second year in a row for that too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's kind of double in my mind, because I'm like, I barely knew these guys going into last year, and now it's kind of the same thing again, only with the new coaching staff and all that stuff. So, you know, God bless you, Wayne Cook, for being on the sideline and having to have all this stuff in your head while you're actually on a broadcast. So, you are the man.
Listen. The good news, guys, is that some of these new players, and you just threw out a couple. I'm just going to tell you, Wayne Knight's good. He's really good. He's that, you know, we mentioned Maurice Jones-Drew. He's not as thick as Maurice, but he's stature-wise, he's kind of similar. He's not very tall. He kind of hides behind the big guys, and he finds the hole, and he's just a very smooth, athletic. He's got good lateral movement. I mean, I'm telling you, but don't sleep on Jet and Anthony Woods either. I think they're all going to be in the mix. I mean, Troy Lieber, every time I go out there, gets playing time. I mean, there's a lot of running backs on this team, so that's good. But I expect Wayne Knight to be special. And two of the new guys that are coming, I mean, I know you guys have heard this a million times, but I'm telling you, Landon Ellis is solid. You can count on him. And Brian Rowe is special, athletic.
Nice.
He's got timing. He's got speed. He can jump. He can go get the ball. Wherever you're finding your projected depth charts and all this stuff out there, those are your two guys. That's X and Z. And I know that they may be listed on some places at the same position, but they're both out there they're going to be out there with the ones. They were in spring. They're going to be in fall. Those guys are absolutely legit. I really like. I didn't even mention there's another player coming back. We know we like Mikey. Mikey's energetic.
Yes.
He's a great personality. He's a really good player. And when you compare him with Samaj Morgan, those two guys in the slot have a chance to be really freaking good. Every time I go out to practice, number 4, Morgan, does a great job. He's a transfer, I believe, from Michigan. Those two guys in the slot are really good to go along with Ellis and Brian Rowe on the outside. And I know there's other players that are going to get some reps on the outside too.
Yeah.
But I feel like those two guys have really separated themselves. And every time I go to practice, Landon Ellis is like the pro's pro. He runs great routes. He's always open. He blocks on run plays. He's just a pro. And Brian Rowe, every time I go to practice, makes a big play.
That's awesome.
One of those plays where everybody goes, ooh, like he's that explosive play waiting to happen. So that kind of stuff really, really excites me when I watch the offense, especially.
No, and I'm really looking forward to that. We were going to ask you who your favorite skill guys were coming into this year on the offense, and now you just list them, so it's beautiful. But with all that in mind, Wayne, you know, what does a good year by Nico actually look like this year in 26?
So I just listen. I love the fact that everybody has just completely squashed the Jamaal Leava crap that followed him out of Tennessee.
Yeah,
I'm just so happy because now you've got Derek Carr on his podcast with his brother talking about how great these guys are and how great their family is. And I've met them all too, and I 100% agree. You couldn't find nicer people. I think for me, what I want is sometimes when players are young, they're pretty brash, they're cocky. You hear a lot of chirping and you hear a lot of, and I'm old-fashioned in this way. I really want to see these football players understand that you do your talking with your pads, you do your talking with your game. And as a quarterback, your brain should always be thinking about other stuff. So I'm ready for Nico to take that next step kind of maturity-wise. He's got so much talent. He's so tough. He works hard. He's great in the film. I haven't heard anything bad. Now it's time that every single time you step up under center, you need to become like it's like you're a surgeon. Walk up to the line of scrimmage, make your pre-snap read. Once you get the snap, make your post-snap read. Get the ball out on time. And he's improved so much just from spring to fall. But he's at that stage, and you guys are UCLA historians. If you really go back and look at most of the championships, even if you go back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we were all upperclassmen. Every single one of us were upperclassmen that won a championship at UCLA. I think I might have been one of the younger ones as a junior. But it was almost always, juniors and seniors, people that had played. Look at Drew Olson's amazing year with Maurice Jones-Drew and Mercedes Lewis. He was a senior. Like when quarterbacks get older, think about a couple of years ago when Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr., when all the 6th-year COVID guys were playing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how good the quarterback play was that year? It was incredible. It was like, wow, these guys are playing like they've been in college for 10 years. And they were because they were.
Yeah.
So quarterback takes experience, and Nico's played on a team that went to the playoffs in Tennessee. He played on a team that struggled last year, and I actually think both of those are valuable. We saw how tough he is. We saw how he keeps getting up. We saw what he could do, especially in a game like Penn State with his legs. We saw so much from him that I think now it's time to now you're going to have a better team around you. You've got a solidified coaching staff. Remember last year, the coaching staff was totally different. Offensive coordinator, gone. Head coach, gone. Like new people coming in. It was really, really difficult. He's going to have now a spring, because remember, Nico didn't get a spring his first year.
Yep.
He's going to have a spring and a fall camp now with really good coaches and consistency and some better players around him. And again, hopefully a better offensive line. I feel really good about the offensive line being better.
Oh,
I don't know how much better, but I know they'll be better. But he just needs to take that next step and be like, listen, I'm that guy. I'm going to make plays. I'm going to outthink you. I'm going to outsmart you. I'm going to out-athletics you because he can. I didn't say that right. Athleticize you. I don't know how to say that.
We understand.
But he's going to be a better athlete than you are, because he is. He's probably the best athlete at quarterback in the entire country. I don't know if a player runs like him.
He made Feldman's freak list. He was like in the 60s, but he was on there.
No, he should be. And if he it's funny because the one thing I told everybody this, every once in a while his arm drops and his ball sails. And it's something he needs to work on, and he knows it. We've talked about it. And so, like, every once in a while he'll throw a ball, especially when he's trying to throw it with some power. He'll drop his arm down and the ball will kind of rise on him. And he just needs to work on that, because it's one of those things that it costs him a few completions. We saw it last year, especially with the downfield throws where guys are open and he just kind of overthrows them. And so I think the better he gets at that, the better he gets at his footwork, he's just got a chance to take that jump. And again, he's in that, this is his 3rd full year as a starter. He's had more consistency. I just think if anybody excites me, I'm excited to see what he can do. And I also think if you watch JMU last year, guys, we're going to see him run the ball because they did that with their quarterback at JMU.
Yeah.
And he's a better, bigger version of that guy.
No, it's awesome. And you anticipated my follow-up on that, which was, are you concerned about his accuracy downfield? But if you already diagnosed what his problem is or whatever. So, if he sews that up, if he's better downfield, he's that good on the ground and all that. He's going to be a great quarterback next season, don't you think?
Here's what's fun, you guys. So I mentioned Brian Rowe, and there was a pass down the left-hand side, and he jumps up and makes a catch in coverage. When you have a really good receiver, like really good, or multiple, because I think I'm just talking about, and there's others that deserve for me to talk about them. But when you just talk about Landon Ellis and Brian Rowe Jr., when you have timing and you have the ability to time your jump, when you can read the ball in the air and know if you have to put it in the afterburners and go get it, or you have to slow down, whether you have to turn and high point it, because there's a lot of different ways to catch a downfield ball.
Sure.
And then when you look at Landon, like, he's that guy that he's going to be the best rebound. I don't know if he played high school basketball, but I'd love to ask him. The way he uses his body, and he knows how to, like, when you're a good route runner, but you know how, because he's got a big frame. Well, he's got a little bit of a stocky build. He's a man out there. Brian Rowe's extremely skinny. But Landon can use his body to get open. And as a quarterback, you know that when you throw him the ball, not only can he use his body, but he can reach his hands out, and he has good hands, and he can catch it with his hands. I can't tell you how important that is. I love throwing to guys where it's one-on-one, and I know my guy's going to win. He's not going to let that guy win, and I'm going to throw the ball anyway, and I'm going to trust him. And I feel like Landon's that guy. So, like, when you have a couple of guys on the outside that can do those things, it hopefully, for one, it gives you as a quarterback a lot more confidence that you don't have to be perfect. And I think it's funny when you look at some of the greatest quarterbacks that have ever lived, they all had great receivers. Every one of them. You name, I don't care if you want to name Joe Montana or maybe John Elway, not as much. He didn't always have the greatest of receivers. Neither did Dan Marino, for that matter. But some of the, you talk about Terry Bradshaw, he did. Of course he did. You talk about Steve Young, he did. Of course he did. You talk about Troy Aikman, he did. They all had great people around them. And when you do that, you're just so much more confident because your throws don't have to be perfect, because you have such good receivers that they're going to make your throws look better. And I think that's important.
Staying on that topic, would you rather have a wide receiver room with one alpha or a bunch of guys you could spread the ball around to?
No, because don't you think? I mean, I just mentioned a couple of those tandems.
Yeah.
If you're Jerry Rice, don't you want and oh my gosh, John Taylor on the other side?
Well, you absolutely
and
do.
Brent Jones at tight end. I mean, of course you do. If you're throwing to Michael Irvin and you're Troy Aikman, isn't it nice to have Harper on the other side and also great tight end?
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I mean? If you're Terry Bradshaw, you got Lynn Swann on one side, but you got John Stallworth on the other. I mean, I used to say this when I had JJ and Kevin Jordan, and I knew I had great running backs. JJ was the indicator, because everybody knew that you had to deal with JJ. So if they double teamed him, we ran the ball. Or if they slid the coverage toward him, I would throw it to the other side to Kevin. Kevin made a ton of catches because Kevin was always open.
Right.
But if they had to slant their defense towards JJ, so let's just say that Brian Rowe becomes that big play guy. Now you've got to play someone over the top of him. You've got to bracket him. You've got to deal with him in a way that we're not going to let this guy beat you. And then Landon Ellis just tears you apart, and Samaj Morgan and Mikey Matthews. Those guys are going to have a field day because they're tilting the defense towards your electric player that can beat you downfield. So all that stuff makes it really, really important. If you only have one guy, it's a problem, because everybody just game plans for that one guy. And if they can shut that person down, you're in trouble.
No doubt. And now, this is completely off topic, but it's going back to your career, which I think you love anyway. But in 93, 94, okay, I just was randomly looking up shit, and I found, and I was like, because I remember, because we talk about J.J. Stokes all the time, and then to a lesser extent, we talk about Kevin Jordan, both great players. But in 93, J.J. Stokes had 1,200 yards and 17 touchdowns or something. He was sick, unbelievable. And Kevin Jordan had about half that. But then 94, it was the exact reverse. And J.J. Stokes only had 600 yards, and Kevin Jordan had 1,200 yards, but they both played all the games. What was the reason for that?
No, well, so actually, J.J. got hurt. So that's why the numbers are good. But I'm going to say this about this.
That. Yeah.
So here's what's fun. In 1993, and people don't get this. This is why I always laugh when people we've had great receivers. I mean, I love Freddie Mitchell. I love so many of the guys that played for UCLA have big numbers.
Yeah.
JJ had 17 touchdowns. The most, I think, in our history is Mercedes Lewis with 10.
Crazy.
That's 7 more.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous how good he was. And sometimes I bring up the 93 team so much because of the schedule we played against.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, we were absolutely, we played a Cal team that ended up winning 9 games, and they're not even on my list of 7. And they were in the top 25 for 5 weeks. That would have been 8. I mean, it was a brutal schedule, and we got through it, and we lost our games by 1, 2, 6, and 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
It was that team was really freaking good. And if we had a softer schedule, we might have been, people might go, oh, that 93 team was 12-0, but it didn't happen that way. And I'm not making excuses, but man, that team had 6 All-Americans too.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't happen very often. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. But in 94, JJ got hurt in the Tennessee game when we beat Peyton Manning and company, and he missed the next 5 or 6 games.
Oh, then they had his stats
Kevin,
wrong. Okay.
Yeah, and Kevin, who was great, he did everything. I mean, he was my guy. I mean, I was throwing to him as much as I could. We lost a bunch, and then everybody started getting healthy, and we won our last 3 games with JJ and Kevin, and we were pretty darn good for a team that was 500. But I don't think anybody would have want to play us at the end of the year when we were healthy.
No doubt.
That really, you guys, if you think about it, when you talk about this team, one of the keys is what I just said. We had just as much talent my senior year. We just had everybody got hurt. We had talent my sophomore year when I blew out my knee. That team in 92 could have been amazing. They were coming off of a 9-3 season with Tommy Maddox, and then he goes pro, and I step in, and we were gonna kick some butt that year, but everybody got hurt. So many of the good players got hurt. Everybody on the media guide got hurt.
Yeah.
And so that's when I look at this team and I look at the players that we have, offensive and defensive line especially, God, we got to stay healthy. Once we find that starting 5, maybe 7 that are in the rotation, you've got to stay healthy. When we look at the defensive line, same thing. We got to stay healthy. I mean, we haven't even talked about Zaire West, but that dude, sometimes he makes plays in practice where everybody just kind of goes, ooh, that was a good play. Like, he has that ability. Those guys got to stay healthy. I think we have some depth in other areas. I think we got a lot of DBs. Really good ones too. I think we're deep. I think linebackers. I mean, you throw in the kid Drew from I'm not going to say his last name, Spinagati or whatever. From he came over from JMU. He's gives you some depth, and so does Donnie Pellot, who I loved as a young player, and then he got hurt, but he's been looking really good in practice. So like, so we've got some linebackers. It's just there's certain positions where that being thin. You just got to stay healthy. And if you can stay healthy in the gauntlet that is a really tough season, you got a chance. You got a chance to win a lot of games.
I asked Coach Chesney this last week, and he seemed pretty optimistic about the offensive line. But you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know who the starters or what the rotation will be.
Yep.
But from your perspective, do you think UCLA has enough of the right guys on the field to have a better offensive line this year?
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, listen.
Even
Coach
with all
Smith is
the
a really
turnover.
good coach.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, turnover is crazy.
No, it's a ton of turnover, and again, there are some people that are back. I mean, like, and there is some depth. You know, like, listen, like last year, like whenever I got a chance to see, like, for example, Somerville play. I mean, he's got talent. He's a big, tall, athletic guy. I mean, I don't know if he's in the rotation this year. He might be. He might not be. We don't know what's going on with, is Jordan Davis going to solidify left tackle, or he's been, struggling a little bit with some stuff. And I'm not 100% sure what it is. I think Brooks is going to take the next step. I think there's some really good players. Like, Sam Yoon played a lot of football. So whether he's the starting center or not, he gives you great depth as someone that we know can get in there and play, that's going to be a year older and a year better. I mentioned Julian Armella, who's a really big guy who's played a lot. I don't know if he's going to start or if he's going to be the number 2, but he gives you a ton of depth. He's played a ton of football. So what I like about that is I just mentioned 3 players that may or may not be in the starting lineup. They may be. I don't know. And I heard Coach Chesney, matter of fact, I heard him talking about this after practice, I think today. He was talking about how we don't want anybody to feel like they're the starter. We don't want anybody to feel like this is and we all know there's a couple players that are pretty much penciled in and Sharpie, permanent ink. Mm. But there's a lot of other players. Trust me, if you listen, Chesney wants to win. One of my key takeaways from practice the other day is it was weird because I've gone to a lot of practices in my day, you guys, and I'm walking around and there's always a ton of coaches that are very nice and say hi, and it's wonderful. But this particular day, man, they were coaching. Like, I was there and I was eavesdropping and I was listening and I was paying attention and talking, but man, they were coaching their tails off. They were locked in. They were very serious. There was a lot of crazy things that happened during this practice, and the coaches, man, they did not blink. Like, every coachable moment, they used it. I mean, the energy level was good. They had to clean some stuff up, but I was just blown away with the intensity of the coaches. And then even after the practice, they're focused on the right things. And again, if that's me, great. But if it's not me, also great, because they're focused on their players and they're focused on maybe a recruit or a parent that's there. They're just. I was very, very impressed with the professionalism of the practice, the intensity of the practice. And I thought that when the coaches got fired up, they got fired up at all the right times. And it just over and over and over again, we've learned this from Chesney, but also from the assistants. They just seem to be saying the right things. And so I like that this offensive line isn't settled yet, because that means they're going to keep working their butts off. And probably usually when you know who the starting 5 are is going into that game week. I mean, they might already know, but I like the idea that people have to go to bed at night thinking I have to have a good practice tomorrow, because that just makes you better. People throw around that saying iron sharpens iron. If you're not having competition, if you're Mikey and Samaj Morgan and you're not paying attention to a guy like Shane Rosenthal who works his butt off every single day, you should pay attention because that guy's out there with Matt Niamalayava catching a lot of passes, and those guys look good together. So all of that stuff matters to me because it just shows that, there's some depth and there's some competition, and that's important.
UCLA has had some consistency with their defensive philosophy the last few years, although it's an entirely new staff right now. But what are your thoughts on how the defense will look this year? Still, again, a lot of turnover, but you've named guys like the talent in the defensive backs. You mentioned West, linebackers. How will it all look?
Well, so I think, I've seen 3 and 4 down linemen. It just depends on what they're doing. I think the defensive ends felt like it was a huge weakness last year, right?
Yeah.
So West and then you see Gobera, both of them came over from JMU. Mm. They looked the part. And West has a chance to be special. Like West has a chance to be an All-American. And so that's really, really important. Again, there's some big bodies, Roy and Ford and I'm not going to say his name right. I'm not going to say it right. I'm not even going to try. But there's some guys in the interior I'll get it before the season starts. I promise.
We know
there's some guys at that D tackle position that is to me is going to be crucial because I think our linebackers are special.
That's nice.
I think Woods and Omasigo and I think Scott Taylor are really good. I think this has to be because you remember, guys, we've had some great linebacking cores in the last 20 years at UCLA. I mean, there's been some really good names.
That's been unbelievable.
That have it's been unbelievable, and some of them been on the same team, right? I mean, we already talked about Kendricks and Woods, but even Miles Jack. I mean, I could go through it. Some Walt, I loved him. Brandon Chillers, I loved him. Like we've had so many good players, some that you might not even be thinking of. And so many good linebackers over the years. And I'm excuse me for all of you that I left out. There's like 20 more. They've been that good. I think this group has a chance to be really, really good. And sometimes I think if we have 3, more linebackers in the game, we've got a player that I hope, and I'm going to say this, and I hope I'm right. I really think that DJ Barksdale, as a nickel and a guy that you're going to see in the game quite a bit, he's a guy that came over from JMU. He's a football player.
I'm excited about him
He's
too.
just a guy. Yeah, he's just a guy that makes plays. He's someone that you want to have him in the game. He's like a coach on the field. He's smart. He plays hard. I really, really like him. I already mentioned Teo. I think he's a big pickup. Somebody to watch that I got an eye for in practice is the transfer from Ohio State, 12, Malik Hartford. He's got good size. He's got good size. He looks when Teo and him are in the back at the back end, both of them are in at safety. They look like NFL guys. There's good size there. So like I'm not saying that he's going to be the starter or not. That's because I think some guys have been banged up, and I don't know. If you're running with the ones this week, you might not be next week because some people are out and some people are going to move around. But I think there's some depth there. I mean, I love Roderick and we Scooters. We're trying to figure out what's going on. I thought Dante Lovett had a really good spring. I don't know how he mixes it. I already mentioned Cole being really, really good. So like I think the secondary is solid. I think the linebackers are solid. I think our pass rush is going to be better. I'm again, D tackles at UCLA, please feel free to get pissed off at me if you listen to this wonderful podcast, and I'm sure you do. I'm not sure yet. I feel a little bit more confident that the offensive line is going to get better. I'm not 100% sure at D tackle.
Right.
And if you guys come out and you surprise the heck out of me, I will be the first person to point out how awesome you are, because I've always convinced myself that when linebackers are making 1 million tackles, a lot of times it's because you have like a Jay Toia in front of you occupying 2 guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we have D tackles that can do that, it makes a huge difference in what our linebackers can do. But if our linebackers are constantly have to deal with guards coming down and blocking them, it makes it a lot harder for them to do their job.
No, there's no doubt about it. Now, Wayne, I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Really quickly, Wayne, was the guy that's whose name is hard to pronounce, Dengohe?
Yes, Dengohe.
Yeah, I was trying to say that, and one of the SIDs told me, yeah, that N, that capital N in the middle throws it off. So if you think of it as a lowercase, Dengohe. I'm like, much, but that helps out
They
quite
know
a bit.
it. And you just ignore the D, the G. It's so funny because he hasn't been here long enough for me to sit, because I'll go on the UCLA website, and I don't know if you guys do this, but before the game starts,
no doubt,
I will go on there and I will click, because I've been told that, and I was laughing because I was talking to some of the guys at practice. I've been told that it's Sayer, not Sahir. Sayer.
Oh,
and I even asked him, and he said Sayer, and I went, what? He goes, Sayer. And I hope I'm right, but I can't wait. I got to go on the website, and I want to listen to him say it over and over and over again, because when I see it, I say it's Sahir West, and somebody that's a coach or an assistant goes, oh yeah, we just say we say it like 10 different ways.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's great.
That doesn't help me. I mean, but he's a name that I have a feeling we're going to say a lot. So I want to make sure I do it, because I always try to keep the moms off my back. I don't want the moms getting mad at me for saying their kid's name wrong.
Good, Paul. Now, do we go on the website? I wonder. Let's see. Yeah, all we do is go on the website.
One we got. Come on.
We got one down. Well, it took a while though. Wayne, they're going up to Berkeley. I'm going to be up there with my daughter who just graduated, and we're going to watch the Bruins take on the Bears and two brand new head coaches. What's your biggest concern walking into Memorial Stadium on the 5th?
Well, one of my biggest concerns is and again, this is such a UCLA thing. We've got one of the best games of that first weekend.
Yeah.
I'm saying it right now. We got one of the best games of the first weekend. It's a huge matchup with two big-time coaches. I like the fact that ours has a lot more head coaching experience than Tosh Lapoy does.
Me too.
I think that matters. But if you paid attention to how much money they're raising, if you paid attention to how they're recruiting, if you're paying attention to JKS, Sagapolu Taleli, or whatever his name is, and again, I'll get that right before the game starts too, but we can always just say JKS.
Yes.
They've got really, really good players. But at the same time, if you watch JKS last year, as good as he can be and as good as he looks, he also can make mistakes, and he also can be a little lazy with his feet and rely on his talent a little bit too much. And he was a freshman last year. But I fully expect this to be a huge game, because I think both programs are going to take a step in the right direction. I believe Cal's going to be a better program. I liked Coach Cox too. I thought he was really, really good, but I think they needed a change of pace, and they needed an insurgence of energy. And I think that if you really look at the off seasons, Cal and UCLA have both done great.
Yeah, they both.
So it's going to be a really good game. It's on the road. I've never thought Cal was an easy place to play.
Nope.
The good news though is that I think the fans are going to show up for that game. I think they're excited, because one of the problems with Cal is it was always kind of a dead crowd. And it was, the old school stadium, and I know that they've done stuff and they've spent, a lot of money, and now they're charging us for it.
Yep.
But the idea is that I think it's going to have the feel of a big game. And so I think that bodes well for UCLA, because I think if you walk into that stadium and you walk into that crowd, and I think everybody's going to be talking about that game, and there's going to be a good crowd for the opener, I think that means, UCLA is not going to walk in and play in front of a dead crowd. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And so I think that's a good thing. So it's a tough matchup. I think the number, and I don't look at the numbers that much, but I want to say that they had that half of a home field advantage number a while ago. I haven't looked at it recently, but it was like 1.5. I mean, it was
it's
like
pretty
nothing.
similar. Yeah, it's still kind of right there.
So to me, that means it's a great game.
So
and I hope that we show them that we're the team to beat this year, and if we go out and get that win, it just sets the tone for the whole season.
There's no doubt about it. And then you mentioned it because the two first-year head coaches at their programs, but Chesney's been around the block a lot longer than Lapoy. But I just kind of pulled together a stat that I think you'll like, Wayne. And I was just wondering, of all the Big Ten coaches currently, all the new ones that came in, who's got the best records in games decided by one score or fewer? And 1 to 18, where do you think Coach Chesney lands on that list?
Well, you're bringing it up. I'm guessing top 3.
Hey, bingo, bingo, bingo. Wayne, you're so good at this. He's number 3, right behind Signetti and Lanning. So he's 12-6 in those games, less decided by 8 or less. And do you think that UCLA having this coaching staff, or I guess the question I want to ask is, with this coaching staff, they're very consistent. They've been working together for a while. Hitchler's been to 2 freaking playoffs. Kennedy's been with Chesney for a long time, and there's like 6 or 7 coaches on there. How big of how big of an advantage is that for this year's team, do you think, or is it an advantage? What do you think about that?
Well, it's a huge advantage, guys. I mean, for one, for Chesney to bring both his coordinators with him is huge. I just feel like, position coaches are extremely important too. Especially the offensive line coach. Like everybody's important.
Yeah.
But when you have consistency with your coordinators, it's just crucial. It's just such a big deal. And to hear how these coaches love coaching for him, it is huge. Now, the second part of that is you win close games by being disciplined. You win close games by having less penalties. You win close game by winning the turnover battle. You win close games by, being able to make the play in the fourth quarter when you need it the most. It's just, we've seen it at UCLA at times where, things are close and we just can't make that play.
Yeah.
Every championships team that ever existed can go through, and there's moments in the season where, like, if this doesn't happen, we lose this game and we're not, no one even remembers us. You have to have those moments. And it's like good teams, the ball seems to bounce their way a lot.
Yeah.
And it's because those good teams make their own breaks.
Make your own luck.
And so when I listen to these coaches and when I listen to the practices, and there was some stuff that happened in the practice on Saturday, and I listen to the way they respond to it. And they talk about how they love the energy. They talk about how, like, I'll give you a quote from Coach Kennedy that I loved. He said, "We collect 15-yard penalties. We don't give them." I'm like, what a great comment. Because if you get stupid and you lose yourself emotionally, you're gonna give the other team. It's like you're giving away money. I'm gonna give you these, and 15-yarders suck.
Yeah, it's the
we
worst.
don't do that. We frustrate people. We play hard. We play the right way, and we collect. And as an offense, a 15-yard penalty is huge. So I loved hearing that, and I just there's so many little things. Like one of the things that Coach Chesney has said, and I heard it in spring that I share with my students, is that your habits have to match your dreams. So if you imagine me standing in front of my classroom, I say, "Here's your dreams. Like, you got these dreams, and my right hand's up pretty high." And I'm like, "But your habits are way down here. You've got to find a way, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a professional athlete or a great teacher or an entrepreneur or whatever, and you sleep till, you show up late to class every day, you skip school because you want to sleep in, you don't do your homework half the time. Yeah, you can have those big dreams. They're easy to say. But if you don't have the habits to match your dreams," and obviously the sports analogy there is that you guys can come out here and want to win at a high level. And again, I'm going to tell you this, as a sideline reporter for UCLA, there's been a lot of teams that have wanted to win at a high level. There's been a lot of teams that have had the talent to win a few more games than they did over my 25 years of doing this. But there were these moments where some of the players on the team were selfish. They only cared about themselves. They did something stupid, and it cost you. And so I love the fact that this coaching staff is saying, "Listen, all we've done is win." Really, look at Bob Chesney and what he's done in his career. All he's done is win.
Yep.
He has been a success everywhere he's been. And he looks these players in the eyes and goes, "Listen, I know how to do this. I know the blueprint of how to win. You guys just have to figure out that I've got this stuff figured out, and listen to me." And so to me, that's going to be crucial. If these young men are going to buy into what he's telling, we've got a much better chance of being successful. And again, it may not be this year. It may take a recruiting class or two, but think about it. Even at JMU, and by the way, I hate the comparisons with Cignetti because Cignetti was gone and he never coached with them.
Yeah.
But I think that Coach Chesney actually did better. He came in, and I think they were 8-4 the first year after all the best players had left, and then they took him even farther his second year, all the way to the playoff to play against Oregon. I mean, that's pretty incredible. He turned that program around when Cignetti pretty much gutted it. So I think that's awesome, and I think he brings that attitude of, "I am going to win. This team is going to win," and I think he believes it, and I think the players are listening, And so that's what gives you a lot of hope going into the season.
No doubt.
All right, Wayne, last question. What is a successful season for UCLA look like in the eyes of Wayne Cook?
Oh gosh, this is so hard, you guys. It's so funny because some years it's funny because it's so hard. There are some years where I'm trying to convince myself that we can get to that 7 wins,
We
like
always
6
do, yeah.
wins, like if everything goes right. And we're always trying because it's so fun in the off season. You look at some of the good players, you're like, okay, if everything goes right, we can do this. And then this year I catch myself, and it's kind of like sometimes you get the best answers from coaches when they lose. Like Coach Mora was like that. When they lost, he had so many great things to say, and when they won, it's almost like he didn't want to talk about it. We could improve on so many things. I think sometimes I'm like quietly like really excited about what I'm seeing.
Nice.
I worry about the trenches. I look at the schedule and I'm like, my gosh, I go, we could really go through that first part of the season. And if I'm being realistic, maybe Oregon's our only loss.
Yep.
But then we're going to get to that moment. And by the way, that means we beat Cal. That means we beat a San Diego State that I don't think we're thinking about, but they were pretty good last year. That means that when you go through the schedule and you get to Minnesota, and we all know that Minnesota is one of those teams in the Big Ten that is never going to, it doesn't feel like they're ever going to win it, but they're always solid.
Yeah.
They're always going to push you and fight you and scratch and claw you, and it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, we've got Minnesota, we've got Illinois, we've got Michigan on the road, we've got all these teams down the stretch. It feels like the last 4 or 5 games are just going to be brutal. So how good are we going to be at that point? How healthy are we going to be at that point? And can we have that kind of home stretch in November where we're still in the mix? Like, to me, that's exciting. I want to get to that point to where we're a ranked team and we're in the mix, and then let's see what happens. And remember, I'm going to circle all the way back to it. If we can run the football and Nico takes that next step, I think we got a shot, guys. I think we got a shot to be really good. So could I say between 7 and sky's the limit?
We'll take that.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know but I do think we're a bowl team. Nice. I really do. I would be really shocked if we're not. And I think that 7 wins is a good place for me to start. I'm not going to give you the total number because I don't want people to yell at me because I am a homer, and I know you know I'm
Aren't
a
we
homer.
all? Yeah.
But I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I mean, it's just you got to be able to stop the run, so those D tackles matter, right? You have to be able to do that. I feel really good about so many positions, and I think you have to be able to run the ball. And if you do all those things, we're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, by the way, I'm not taking Michigan off the board either because I love their coach now. It was a great hire. But man, I'm telling you, Bryce Underwood's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
And Michigan, they weren't very good last year. I'm sure they're going to be a lot better. But if we're playing good football, man, that's a road trip that I would love for us to be in the mix and be able to go and see what we're made of. Because playing in a place like that is really hard. But man, if you can make some noise in a place like that, it can be program changing. So I mean, obviously that's way off in the distance, and we're not going to think about that yet. But I'm pretty excited about going to that one.
No, absolutely, Wayne, and we're looking forward to the season as well. And I can't wait to hear you on the sidelines as well. Now, Wayne Cook, giving us a freaking hour of his time. So gracious. We love him so much. Wayne, now that you don't have College Sports Now anymore, if you ever feel like you need to talk national college football, just call us. You can leave us a voicemail or whatever, and I'll publish it.
You need
for
to vent, yeah.
You need to vent about anything, please do. And then I hope your students this year treat you well. But anything you need, my friend, you're the best, and we love having you on the show.
And I'm going to say this, thank you for the offer. You guys have been great to me for a long time, and so I appreciate it. And you guys know I'm kind of sick in the head, so I just want to talk college football. So you're more than welcome to call me too, and I'd love to come on and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about because it's a ton of fun. I love doing it. Absolutely.
We love Wayne Cook, and thank you very much, Wayne. And you have a great night, man.
All right, guys. You too. We'll talk to you soon.
Well, that was a wonderful interview. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Every freaking time.
Every time.
It's like, hey, Wayne Cook, we have a simple question for you. 15 minutes on the topic.
I
love it.
I had a document and it had 20 questions on it or whatever.
Yes.
But as we're going through it, I'm like, okay, erase number 6.
Yeah.
Okay, erase number 7.
Well, we started.
Okay, just talk about that. Erase number 12.
When you said it to me, I looked at it. I was like, damn, we have 20 questions. I'm like, this is going to be like a 4-hour show if he answers them all. But he answered them, a lot of them out of our turn, but he still answered
as
them.
he was going.
We got the answers we wanted.
We did.
That's the
We
point.
absolutely did. He answered all the questions that we had for him, so it was wonderful. Yeah, good job. So, with that being said, Mike, is there anything else about football that you want to talk about before we get to the end of the show? Considering we already have, I don't know, an hour of show.
Well, no, it's good that he came on and he has
always good.
He has more access than we do because we haven't seen them. I was not there today. I will be there on Wednesday, but the Bruins, the media did not have access to Bruins practice since last Tuesday, 6 days ago. In that time, the media got to see one of their practices at Irvine last week, and we talked about that already. Chesney just recapped it, said it was really good bonding experience. They went to the beach, they had their meetings, and they had just team bonding time, as well as a scrimmage. A few injury updates, nothing huge. One guy broke his leg. I'm blanking on who it was. Smith. So his season is probably receiver Smith. I forget his first name, but his season is most likely over. A few other guys just banged up here and there. It looks like UCLA should be relatively unscathed, sans broken leg, heading into the season opener on September 5th against Cal.
Okay, well, I mean, that's really all I got there.
That's all I got.
All right, good. Well, let's get on with what's brewing with you then.
What's brewing with you? You ask me. What's brewing with me? Yeah. What's brewing with you? What's brewing
Leland
with
Smith.
me?
Yes, thank you.
That's a bummer. We hope he recovers well.
Was it Leland? That doesn't.
Well, you said Smith. That's the wide receiver. Leland Smith. That's the wide receiver that's Smith.
I have to get back to y'all. Anyway.
What's wrong with you, Mike?
Well, it's damn, Jake. I have 2 freaking high schoolers
Your
now.
hand is still on the
Crazy.
goddamn
It
mic.
is. I am
It's
clicking
been an
it.
hour.
I just
and
heard
you're
it.
Still doing it.
I just heard it. My bad. That was actually a positioning thing. I was just trying to move it closer. But I have 2 freaking high schoolers. My 2 oldest, my daughters, are both in high school. They're both loving it because they get to hang out with each other at school once again. And so this weekend was kind of getting supplies. My daughter Popstar,
I'm sorry, Mike. I do have to interrupt you.
Huh.
I'm sorry. There are 2 Smiths on the team, and they're both wide receivers. Jonah Smith.
Jonah. It's Jonah. Yes.
Okay. Our apologies to Leland, the senior from Houston, Texas. You're talking about Jonah Smith.
Yes.
Wide receiver, freshman, Rancho Santa Margarita.
Yes.
Young man, 185, 6 foot.
Yeah.
He broke his leg.
Yeah.
We're sorry about
That's
that, Jonah, and we hope you recover well and soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Leland, we hope you have a
get
great
well
season.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my daughters are in high school. So this weekend, and my son hasn't started school yet. He starts on Wednesday. But,
You go.
But so this weekend was just basically running around town, collecting supplies, getting a book that my daughter needs, getting last minute things for school. But we also took some time to go to the beach for most of Saturday. That was my kids' idea. I'm anti sun in the summer. Like, the summer sun sucks. I hate the sun. We're not friends, especially when it's super hot.
It gets very hot.
Jake, it was like 98 degrees when I pulled up here earlier. I'm very
We are in
upset
the
about
valley.
this. We are in the valley, but we are slipping into fall. Very happy about this. This is my favorite time of year. We are within field goal range of the season. Within, 19 days away from kickoff. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, just had a really good.
With
I wish.
automatic from 3.
That was it. Just having good fun weekend with the kids, and my son Hugo was. He's, like I've said before, he has just taken to sports like a sponge, just taking everything in. So with the NFL kicking off this weekend, he was either, doesn't watch a lot of TV, has a few shows he likes, but he's not glued to the screen. But whenever there was an NFL preseason game on, he was right there. Or he asked if he can take my iPad so that he can watch it in the car or something like that, or wherever we went. So I'm very proud of him. He's really taken in football like a champ, especially since he now in the 6th grade gets to play flag football for his school. So he's quite excited about that. And I've been practicing with him and practicing basketball with my daughter. That's what's going on with me, aside from working my tail off, getting ready for the season. Jake, what's brewing with you?
Outstanding. I referenced this earlier in the show talking to Wayne, but I found this podcast, and it's Anthony Barr and Eric Hendricks, two of my all-time favorite Bruins for sure. And they have a fun podcast, and it's called Been Out of Shape. And they were talking a lot of NFL stuff. But this last show, they had Quentin Lake on, and they talked a lot about the Bruins as well. And it was just a very entertaining show. And it's kind of fun. They've only done like 5 or 6 episodes, but they're kind of like us in that they have a couple different segments where they kind of goof off a little bit. And it was entertaining to listen to. And obviously, some really good NFL players with a lot of fun experience. And then they're going to leverage that to get fun guests on. Like I think they got Justin Jefferson on in one episode or something. So, I mean, if you want to hear a couple Bruins represent UCLA pretty well, and other than me and Mike, you can't go wrong with this. I don't think it was a lot of fun. It's kind of a fun show, and they're kind of a little bit off the rails too, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to my son Malcolm, who got his license. Good job on him. Now he's driving around the town when he feels like it. And other than that, dude, I mean, I'm trying to get back into shape after being injured and sick. And I'm almost there, I hope. But I have a 10-miler next month, and then a half marathon month after that, and then a marathon after that. So we'll see how it goes. So that's about it.
Well, good luck with that, Jake.
And I'm going to Europe for 3 weeks, so we'll see how that goes.
When?
Oh yeah, Mike. There's 3 weeks during the middle of the season that I'm not going to be available.
You're going to miss 3 weeks of the first Bob Chesney.
Because this is one of the reasons why I'm not a season ticket holder anymore, I guess, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll be in Amsterdam, and then I'll be in France. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Check that. I'll be in France, and then I'll be in Amsterdam, and then I'll be in Germany, and then I'll be in Switzerland, and then I'll be in Switzerland more, like in the Alps or something.
Nice.
So that's going to be a while.
Yeah.
I'll be off for like 3 weeks. God bless you.
Jerk.
You're welcome. So yeah, that's happening. Actually, I'll tell you what weeks you got to cover. Mike,
we can do it in post if you want. No, thanks for letting me know. Like,
I just
no, not sarcastically, just so I know, like, just to prepare for those weeks. But
well, one of the weeks is the bye week, so we got that going.
Oh, so you're going right before the Oregon game?
Yes, and so I'm going to miss Oregon. I'm going to miss Wisconsin. I'm going to be home. Actually, I'm only missing one game, asshole. So I don't want to hear it.
Yes, but how many weeks are you missing? How many Tuesdays are you missing?
Yeah, I missed a few Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's all right. All right. Well, Jamaal, Mike wants you on the show.
Yeah. Jamaal, you're up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, anyways, that's what's wrong with me. I appreciate it, Mikey, and it's good to see you. And I look forward to seeing you next week as well.
You too, sir. Yes.
Yeah. And then we'll call Jamaal, and we're gonna do our Big Ten predictions next week.
Yes.
And if we have anything else going on, by the way, it's kind of fun. I got a new baller clip.
Oh, wait, what?
From one of your coworkers. He said just a baller.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm looking forward to that. Savage did.
Nice.
And then I got another clip, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but it might have been it was off this shit, the Anthony Barr show.
Uh-huh.
By the way, that show with Quentin Lake, they're talking about In-N-Out Burger and how superior it is. So that's another reason they're awesome.
Strike one.
And then Bill actually called me today with some more sound, some like what's brewing quotes to get to. So I got some homework to do.
We're busy. It's a preseason. It's almost football, Jake.
Mike, one of the defensive backs is named Roderick. Yes,
Roderick Pleasant. Roderick Pleasant. Yes.
I just had an epiphany. Like one of my kids' favorite books are Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and one of those books was called Roderick Rules. So I guess now we have to find a clip of that. So I'll have to get some sort of like stinky diaper reference or something, because that's what the band he was part of, or something. But that'll be our thing for Roderick.
Stinky diaper?
It was like
that's definitely not pleasant.
No, it's look what he did there. Anywho, Mike, it's good seeing you. Wayne Cook, thank you for coming on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, Mikey, what do we say?
Go Bruins.
Good evening.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
That was the What's Bruin Show.
Oh my God.
Try us tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's got to be in or out, Mom. In or out. Well, I need the door closed.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Dude, Rob, we play some ball on the West Coast.
The final word is boob.